Hello students. In our previous video we have seen about VLAN configurations. In this video we will see about inter-VLAN routing. Inter-VLAN routing is all about allowing different end devices belonging to different VLANs to communicate with each other. So for that purpose we need either a router or a layer 3 switch. So we start with a switch. This is a layer 2 switch. I take two end devices. I perform the connections. And now I will set the IP addresses. One 192.168.2.10. One 192.168.2.11. So as you can see, both the end devices are connected with this switch, and at present all the ports have default VLAN, so we need to configure VLAN for the ports. For that, first we will create a VLAN. And then I will select interface and I will set the VLAN. From here you can set whether an interface is a access interface or a trunk interface, and here you can set the VLAN. So fast Ethernet 1 access port, VLAN 2. Again fast Ethernet 2 access port, VLAN 2. Fast Ethernet 3 access port, VLAN 2. So as you can see, ports 1, 2 and 3 are set for VLAN 2 and rest of the ports are with default VLAN 1. So we wait for a while. Meanwhile, I open the command prompt and I try to ping 192.168.2.11. So as you can see, the connectivity is established. Similar to this VLAN, which we can call VLAN 2, we want to set up one other VLAN. I repeat the procedure. I have taken one switch, two end devices, I have made the connections. Now I will give the IP addresses to these end devices from some other VLAN. 192.168.3.20. One 192.168.3.21. I need to configure VLAN for this switch. So VLAN 3, add fast Ethernet port 1, VLAN 3, fast Ethernet port 2, VLAN 3, fast Ethernet port 3, VLAN 3. So as you can see, the similar setup we have for VLAN 3. and you can check the connectivity. 192.168.3.21. It will take time, so let's wait. Okay, so the connectivity is established. So now our concern is we want to allow one end device from VLAN 2 to communicate with some other end device from VLAN 3. I mean, we want to allow different end devices which are belonging to different VLANs to communicate with each other. And so for that purpose, only layer 2 switches are not sufficient. We need either a router or a layer 3 switch to set up inter-VLAN routing. So now I demonstrate inter-VLAN routing with a router. I will take one router. You can see this particular router has two fast Ethernet ports. It's still booting, so we need to wait for some time, but you can see two fast Ethernet ports are there. So I will make a connection from port 1 to port 0 of router, port 1 to port 1 of router. So as you can see, I have connected both the layer 2 switches with this router. Now I need to configure this router also and both the interfaces. First, I will give IP address to fast Ethernet port 0. Now whatever IP address you will give to fast Ethernet port 0 will be the default gateway for this side of your network, for the network with VLAN 2, and whatever IP address you will be giving to fast Ethernet 01 will be the default gateway for the network of this side, VLAN 3. So I give 192.168.2.1 IP address to fast Ethernet 0 and 192.168.3.1 IP address to port 1. Now remember one thing, you have to on this port explicitly. And now you can see on one side LEDs are green, on another side it's still in the progress. But now you can verify the connectivity. But before verifying the connectivity, you have to provide default gateway. So for this VLAN, default gateway is 192.168.2.1, and here also 192.168.2.1. Here it's 192.168.3.1, and here also the same 192.168.3.1. and now we can check the connectivity. This is 192.168.2.10, an end device from VLAN 2, and we want to check the connectivity with some other end device of some other VLAN. So ping 192.168.3.20. So you can see it works. Similarly, you can ping another end device. From VLAN 3 also, VLAN 2 will be accessible. Sorry, it's not 2.20, it's 2.10 and 2.10. 11. So in this way, in a computer network, you can have multiple VLANs, and using a router, you can set up inter-VLAN routing. Thank you.